house at the back. The Sharmas had come to Nainital to stay in the ancestral home of Mr. Sharma's friend.
Papa and I are going to the market for some provisions,
Said Mrs. Sharma.
Help me sort out the clothes,
Said Indu, opening a large suitcase.
Can't you wait?
Said Vandana, flopping down on the bed.
There's an abandoned house with vines growing all over it behind us. Won't it be lovely if some adventure comes our way?
Vandana said dreamily. She was always on the lookout for adventures. Indu, the sensible one, did not reply. Suddenly, the power went out.
Do you know where the candles are?
Asked Vandana.
Of course not. Come, let's look in the kitchen.
Said Indu.
It sure is spooky in here.
Said Vandana.
Shut up and search.
Ordered Indu. Soon her sister would be seeing apparitions.
Listen, someone is singing.
Exclaimed Vandana. A lamp flickered at one of the windows in the house at the back.
There is someone living in that house.
Indu exclaimed.
Perhaps we could go over to that house and borrow some candles.
She mused. They left through the back door, making their way towards the house.
Come in.
Called a voice when they knocked on the door. A small lady, dressed in a long skirt and frilly blouse, was sitting in the room near the fireplace, knitting.
Yes, my dears. What can I do for you?
I'm sorry to disturb you, ma'am. We have come to Nainital only today and are staying in the house at the front. I'm Indu and this is my sister Vandana. We couldn't find candles. Our parents have gone to the market and we thought we could maybe borrow one.
Of course, dear. But first, do sit down. Would you like a cup of hot cocoa and some scones I baked today?
I am Miss Evelyn Brown,
She said as she went to get the cocoa. The girls sat with Miss Brown, listening to her stories about the mall and how Jim Corbett had to be called post haste last summer to deal with a tiger. They were soon certain that Miss Brown was not only eccentric but also quite senile. Just as the grandfather clock struck 7:30, they heard a gate click open in the front.
Thank you very much for the lovely scones and cocoa. We should be going. Our parents seem to have returned.
Said Indu.
Bye-bye, my dears. It has been nice having you over. Here is the candle.
Just as they reached their house, the power came back. It has been a terrible 10 minutes, said Mr. Sharma.
Where have you been?
Asked Mrs. Sharma.
Oh, we could not find any candles, so we went around to the house at the back to borrow some.
Said Indu. But her mind was racing. Hadn't they been in Miss Brown's house for nearly 30 minutes? As they reached their room, Vandana said,
Oh no, I've forgotten to put back Miss Brown's napkin.
Oh well, we'll return it in the morning.
Said Indu. The next morning, the two girls went towards Miss Brown's house with the candle and the napkin.
Hindu, wasn't the path travelled and lined with flowers when we came last night?
Indu did not reply. She was staring with wide-eyed shock at the door. It was shuttered, with huge cobwebs crisscrossing it. They heard the gardener, Rahim, call out, Don't go there, beta.
We were going to return Miss Brown's napkin and candle, but she seems to have left very early,
said Indu. Yes, she left very early. 80 years ago, in fact. You see, she has been dead all these years.
But how can that be? We were with her last evening, sitting in her drawing room, drinking her cocoa and eating scones,
protested Vandana. Yesterday? Oh no, it was the 6th of June yesterday, wasn't it? You see, Miss Brown lived in this house all her life. It is the local legend that she comes to visit it on her birthday every year and waits for company.
Which means?
The girls looked at each other, their faces pale. Vandana stared at the napkin that had EB monogrammed on it. If Miss Brown was not a real person, what about the napkin and the candle which belonged to her? And what about the scones they had eaten? They would never know.
Living with mountains. Once you have lived with mountains, under the benedictory pines, and deodars near stars, and a brighter moon, with wood smoke and mist, sweet smell of grass, dew lines on spider-spun, sun-kissed buttercup and vine. Once you have lived with these, blessed, God's favorite then, you will return, you will come back, to touch the trees and grass, and climb once more the wind-swept mountain pass.